you everyone and good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be the moderator today. And thank you everyone to join our panel discussion. It is very important, the climate change. I cannot move this anyway. Oh. Okay. At first, let me introduce our
panelist.
Let me come back.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Thank you very much. This is very important issue about the climate change, the impact of climate change on workforce adaptation for sustainable work safety. And we are very lucky today that we have the distinguished panel, the expert on this field. So the first one, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Yuka. Okay, she is a senior occupational safety and health specialist from ILO. And Dr. Atsamon, yes, from the right of mine. He's from the Department of Climate Change and Environment. He's a researcher and also the director of the research department on climate change and environment. And the next one is Mr. Thirapong Laksasang. He's the previous vice president from NS Brusco. So today, we're going to discuss about the issue, two parts, okay? So the first part is going to be about the strategy that each organization that they come from will share with us the strategy that they develop to cope with the problem of the climate change. And also the second part going to be technology and innovation that we will use for cope with the problem of climate change too. So the first round, since we have very short period, so for the housekeeping issue, I would like to tell all of you that you can have the question at the end of the panel discussion. So you can write down your question and then the staff will bring it to me. We're going to have the question to the panelists and they're going to answer you at the end of the discussion. Okay, for the first round, we're going to start with Dr. Yuka. So,
okay. Yeah.
Yes, please, Dr. Yuka from ILO.
All right, thank you very much for your introduction. Thank you very much for the panel. I'm very pleased to be here and my honor to be part of this panel. Actually, the climate change is the very timely issue, the topic. And of course, we all are impacted by the climate change. Especially in this particular region, we're exposed to the extreme heat. And also we experience a lot of natural disasters and the vice versa. But anyway, now this is very trend and all global leaders, the government, G7, G20, and also United Nations Secretary General address this issue as a priority. So this is very timely and I'm looking forward to discuss this topic with the experts. Thank you very much. And my first assignment is to talk about the strategy at the regional level. And actually the ILO, International Labour Organization, we organized every year in April World Day for Safety and Health at Work. And for 2024, it's already over, but our theme was the impact of climate change on workforce and the workers' workplaces. And this is the poster of our World Day event. And actually we published the report. And that event and report focused on the pick up the 6 item subject in terms of the climate change: heat stress, UV radiation, extreme weather event, air pollution, vector-borne disease and agrochemicals. And you see, for example, in Thailand, we are all concerned about these all 6 elements, right? Yes. And then today we have the experts, but just go through quickly, what are the impact of the global level? Always I start with my presentation with the data. But unfortunately, we don't have the data or the statistics, how many workplaces are impacted in Thailand regarding each of these 6 elements. Instead, we have estimates. ILO produced some estimates at the global figure. And this is the first one, excessive heat. You see the 2.4 billion workers exposed, right? And we lost 23 million. We are the 23 million people suffering occupational injuries. So these are just the estimate, but we can now understand what is the impact. And at the same time, we picked up who are the higher risks. Of course, we all population, all of us exposed to the heat, but some particular workers are at the higher risk. These are the higher job. And what are the impact, health impact and the safety impact? This report provides you some information about this kind of fact. And also UV radiation. Today we don't have time to go through deeper about each of the exposure, but this one is the 1.6 billion people. And then air pollution. Yes, air pollution is the big matter in Bangkok and other cities in Thailand. And according to our WHO and ILO's estimate, these are workers exposed and impacted by the air pollution. Then the vector-borne disease, and due to the extreme heat or the climate change, a lot of rain or some humidity, more people exposed and more people suffering from the vector-borne disease. This is another big issue. We have to work together with the health sector, not only labor sector. And then lastly, agrochemicals. So due to the climate change, the situation of the product is not stable. That result, the more use of agrochemicals in agriculture sector. And what about Thailand? I don't know the exact figure, but I think almost 50%, 60% of the labor force is working in the agriculture sector in case of the Thailand. So this is the very important matter. But the impact of climate change is not only the health and safety. You see, this is the ILO's estimate regarding the productivity. So due to the heat stress, we lose the working hours. That means the loss of the productivity. And you can see which region are more impacted. Obviously, the Southeast Asia is the top 3. So that is not only our health and safety, but our life. So this is another one, is actually the agriculture and construction sector are more impacted by the climate change. So this is some strategy the ILO can propose to cope with the climate change in this particular region. Maybe we have to think about comprehensive assessment of the impact on people's life, not only health and safety, but entire people's life by the climate change. And also we have to think about the engagement of the multiple players. Today we have the variety of the speakers, but also we have to engage multiple ministries, organizations, academia, institutes, researchers, we work all together, and they're sharing good practices and lessons learned. Another issue, because the Thailand actually you have a lot of good practices. Yeah, you must be proud of, and your experience, your practice should be shared with the others, right? And also the last one is the coordination, collaboration mechanism. Not only the individual phase, but we have to do the institutional collaboration mechanism we have to develop. So this is my last slide. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yuka. It's very comprehensible data and also the strategy. So we can see that most of the problem is the high risk is the worker. The high risk worker is the outdoor worker, right? But actually it might be some indoor as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because of the climate. So we're going to go to the next, because we cannot have the question right now. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. Dr. Asamon, he's going to share with us about the strategy that the Department of Climate Change and Environment have to share with us. Please, Dr. Asamon.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, all. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer to invite the Department of Climate Change and Environment to join this panel discussion. So this department is just a new department. It's just only 1 year, established. So I would like to provide you and share with you for the first round, the current situation and how Thailand to coping with some, the climate change impact, particularly, in terms of heat or extreme event. So I start and follow up with, the previous speaker that, the scientific evidence provide us, very clear that, the climate change, induced heat is that are growing rich and they have, increasing in terms of the population exposure and include, some the labor productivity. So if we look at, in the Southeast Asia regions, that's in the future that they're gonna have, the people exposed to the heat wave with increase like, 66 times compared with the current periods. How about Thailand? What happened? Thailand, our study showing that, in terms of the heat wave frequency, they have widespread and significant increase all the regions, particularly in the south and the east. And, if we consider Thailand as a whole, they have increased about, 0.48 even per decade. So this is over like, 50 years or so. And what about in the future, if we look at the data from the model simulation, they tell us that, in terms of the number that the heat index greater than 35 degrees Celsius, they have, have a higher than 100 days under the medium and high greenhouse gas emission scenario from the later half of this century. And also they have a recent study, share information with us that, in terms of, the potential work hour loss, if you look at in the 2018 that they have some number about, 9.2 billion, and compared with the 2000 that they have increased about 3.2% or something like that. This is just our, current study, this is just preliminary. We try to compare the number of the heat waves within the past 5 years compared with, the construction worker. So I think that is the data of the worker of even the construction worker is difficult to extract also, but we try to do that.
Oh.
But what we came up from here is that you can see remarkably large of the people exposed to the heat wave in the Bangkok because of, a number of the construction work in this area also. So here, This is it's a real that is we are facing or something of this impact. But probably you may wonder how Thailand is respond to this. I would like to say that in this issue, actually we have the strategy and measure to tackle with the the heat-related impacts under we call the Thailand National Adaptation Plan. So in this plan we have the 6 sectors. One sector is the public health sector. So we aim to have the effective public health system to manage risk and reduce the impact from the climate change. And here is some the guideline, the general guideline or measure mentioned in this plan. If you look at the guideline number 1, it is from preventing climate change health impacts. Try to strengthen capacity of the general publics and then promote the public participation. When you look at the guideline number 2, it's something about the supporting mechanism for the public health. We try to develop something about surveillance and forecast system, emergency response, even try to develop research, knowledge and technology, even try to improve public health infrastructure. So this is some general guideline. But if you may wonder how about the specific guideline. So we actually have the specific guideline or measure of this issue mentioned in we call the action plan or we call the Health National Adaptation Plan or HNAP. In HNAP, they have a 4 strategy. So if we look at in more detail with that, they try the measures they mentioned in the strategy 1 and strategy 4. Here is some more specific measures like strategy 1 is that they try to develop some information or warning system, and also they try to focusing on the specific working population and promoting and support even the workforce age to assess the personal protection equipment and last for knowledge and awareness. But here under the strategy 4 is that they try to set up some we call the national integrated heat health and information system, and then they develop the guideline for the diagnosing and treating heat-related illness and improve diagnosis, management, and public health resource. And last, of course, that is we need to focus on develop some technology and innovation. So this is the first round. I would like to share with you something about this, and then I will go to the second part of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is Fred. I would like to say wow, and many people in this room may say the same thing with me. This is a very nice strategy, and I hope that it can be implemented nicely in Thailand. Okay, so we're going to go to the next panel.
Okay.
Panelist Kun Thirapong from BlueScope.
Okay.
So he worked for BlueScope for a while, and I think most of the worker in your business work outdoor most of the time, so you might have some strategy.
Okay.
But anyway, today you're going to share with us about the carbon credit and energy consumption, right?
Yep.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I think we have such a very short time. So I just click on this slide and just focus on some things. The first round, I would like to have an overall for the overview, so you can see the synergy synchronized in terms of the nationals, in terms of the government parties, and then the private sector. How we set up the strategies in the business. And then the second round will be some of the example. The first one, BlueScope, actually we build steel. So this is like steel product manufacturing. So we had upstream business in Australia, and then the midstream and downstream across the globe. So we have our purpose. We create inspire smart solution in steel to strengthen our communities for the future. So that is our purpose. By the way, work through our bond and through the standard at work. So we'll be, all aligned to our proposal. So in terms of climate change, actually in BlueScope, we try to look at in overall sustainability. So that's what our goal, and the sustainability is split into 5 outcomes. So you can see that a safe and inclusive workplace is also one of the outcome as well. And number 3, you can see climate action in terms of climate change and energies. So it's a bit of split out because of work stream in each area also split. However, all 5 align together and link together, so you can see all the activities resulting of including we reduce the greenhouse gas in our business. However, in terms of occupational health and safety, we also looking at our worker health and also like health and well-being area as well. So circular economy, I think everyone might, for this term, when you're talking about the steel business, so it's starting from we pulling the steel from the raw materials. So the raw material of steel production, so then 100% recycling, we put that into steel production. So when we do manufacturing, because BlueScope also taking care in terms of design for the building, so then we try to design the effective in terms of application in terms of building. So the steel will be like lighter, stronger. So that a kind of technology is to put in, for the new shape of the building, including the green building as well. In terms of environmental sustainability, so we use the word of lawn. So apart from not just only looking at one part of it, but in entire of the environmental protection, you can see that land, air, water, waste, noise, and energies. Also, we'll look at all part as well. And our approach, definitely, we are pretty familiar with the net zero target at 2050. And BlueScope have invest money for it. So 150 million Australian dollar. So for the next 5 years, just for the capital, looking at the climate change project especially. And the target for the upstream process, which is in Australia. So the target is 12% reduction of the emission intensity, and 30% for the non-steelmaking, which is across like ASEAN's area when we do a coated steels and also roll forming steel, including the construction area as well. So that is the first part. So this information published in the sustainability report of BlueScope. So if you're interested, you can access. Yeah.
Good. That's all. Thank you very much. And I saw that many things that the organizations like ILO and also the Department of Climate Change and Environment can cooperate many things. Your strategy that can help each other to do this. So then let's see about the innovation and technology that all of you developed to cope with the climate change now today, right? We're gonna start with BlueScope at this round. For the second round, we talk about the technology and innovation.
Okay.
I think.
Next click on the Mimi. No, I don't think so. Sorry. It has.
Oh, okay. Actually, I should talk something about this. Okay. The climate change impact. Okay. We can conclude that from all of our panelists that heat stress and health risk that is maybe the most important thing that we talk about for the worker right now. Actually, the air quality and respiratory issue, that is the second one. And maybe mental health challenge, even though no one talk about it, but actually it's very important. The climate change can affect many things on the health of the worker. So just like here, this is in indoor workplace. They might expose to heat from the process and also from outdoor. So the climate change can affect them a lot, not only the temperature, but anyway, the temperature is the most issue, the most important issue here. So in Thailand, we have the, we have, well, we can say this is technology or innovation. Since 1996, we have the regulation issued by the Ministry of Industry and Ministry of Interior in 1971. At that time, we used only the thermometer to measure the air temp to assess the exposure of the worker, right? But nowadays, even though we have like the WBGT, wet bulb globe thermometer, we have the standard that is newer that we implement nowadays. We have the instrument like a personal heat rate monitor, even though we still have the like capsule sensor that the worker can swallow, right, and detect the core temp or something like that. Do you think that this technology is enough to fighting with the working environment or fighting with the climate change that increases, like Dr. Atsamon said, the temperature go up, right, about 1.5 in each decade. That is very serious. So I would like to ask all of you to discuss about the technology and innovation that can enhance the workplace safety, the role of the policy, enhance the role of the policy development, and also enhance the advocacy in promoting stronger regulation. So this round we're going to start with Kun Thirapong now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, okay. So some case study related to how we adaptation, of the activities. So I put in the summary page. Actually, our manufacturing is both indoor and outdoor. Actually, in indoor, actually we are kind of built in the climate change into our risk profile. So I think in each company we also have like a risk register or what we call like risk profiles in the company. So we built in the climate change impact into that as well. And then that resulting of change in terms of how we work and how we taking care of the worker in organization. So some example, like apart from GHG reduction, so in terms of line equipment or change of the safety practice, so we eliminate or limit in terms of the time exposures of the worker inside the area as well. One thing that I think we might not touch that on is about how we give the knowledge to the worker. So that's such a very important, because we build into their skill and make sure people also working together with us. It's not just only a company, but every party we work together. So very hard to give a worker to understand in overall, knowledge in terms of climate change and safety standard. So then we try to put them into some touchable training practices in that way as well. So it's not just only a thing that BlueScope do by ourselves, but also talking about through the value chain, upstream of BlueScope and downstream of BlueScope. our supplier and our subcontractors or users or client also be part of that as well. Influencing top risks in the construction, that one of the key focus topic. This is not just only a private sector, but talking about the government sectors and also country standard as well. So that's why, we are part of influencing the standard, like we develop in terms of the safety practice, like fall protection system. We develop a Blue Scope Training Center, which is built in the product knowledge, installation, and the safety practices, safety standard at the same time, and give that training to a worker, not just Blue Scope worker, but everyone, like client workers or from the universities or the college, so they can learn from that as well. And supporting in terms of working at high, a code of practice. So this is working together with TOSH. So thank you for that. And develop skill labor standard for roof and wall installation. So this one working together with the Department of Skill Development. I show you some photos. So like this is indoor impact from the heat. So you can imagine that even like coated steel area, so that the middle photo is showing, in front of the pot area, which is something like 300 to 400 in the pot, but surrounding is something like 45 degree, which is pretty hot actually.
Okay. Not WBGT.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in 1 hour, so we allow the worker only 10 minutes to walk out. They work out and then they just, grabbing the draught out of the pot. And then another 15 minutes, they're coming back to the control room and then sit down, relax. So all of that kind of activity to show that, we have the area for people, to stay, and that get rid of the heat stress. That's the example of how we limit the time exposure. This is one of the things that I think the danger simulation is pretty important at the moment. So in Japanese you call ansen. Ansen means safety actually, but some, right? Correct.
Right?
So some of my colleagues in Japan call sensing danger sensing or simulation center. So this is a way to get people touch and feel of the risk and fast track learning mechanism of people of each particular risk. So that one being set up at Blue Scope to make sure that people got a fast track mindset, in terms of risk awareness. And you can imagine the construction safety is one of the key parts. I think this is quite a biggest risk here for people. And number one of the construction risk is falling from high. So that's why when we do a roof installation up in the air, so when you come with MRT, all on top, so this is like Blue Scope roof. Okay. So how high of that roof that people, have to access onto that area, and how they dress up. So the area at the construction sites, we have, the rest area. We make sure that we have a healthy area for people to get rest as well. And especially on the top of the roof, they also have temporary shade on the top with their like cold drink put into a big bucket like that. Just very simple, but just you can imagine for the construction worker. So no need something very, fancy. You just come back to basic.
Right.
and some of the roof installation technology and innovation. So modular system is one part that we drive through because as much as we can build the roof on the floor. So that is the safest way to build the building. So then we do a building section by section and then like putting many people and then you can lift it up by the bigger crane. So then you reduce the time for people to work up on the roof. So that is the idea. We use drone for the roof inspection. Use CCTV for at-risk behavior. Actually, right now, start in Singapore. I think they announced the new regulation for the construction site need to install CCTV as well. We designed the horizontal lifeline, so you can see that graphic, to show how people, locking, like tie off all the time when they are on the roof. And motorized roller system for moving metal sheet on the roof. For the long sheet, it's very heavy if you do by pushing manually by people. So they design the motor, put into the steel structure, and then that keep them very easy to move the sheet and lay on the roof. So this is one of the very proud of that I would like to present as well in terms of influencing standard for workforce. Blue Scope training centers been set up for 9 years at the moment, working with TEF in Australia. And then we train the trainers and set up a mobile unit for training and going around countries and train up for construction worker, more than 2,000 workers per year. So that what, to give them not just only installation technique, but that include the safety practices for the field worker as well. And as I just mentioned, so the working attire code already announced, drive through by TOSH. So here in Thailand, so we have that code as well. Yeah, so that's all of the practice.
Good, this is very good technology, and I think this can apply for the big company. What about the small one? Especially the one that you talk about, the work at height, right? Yeah. You can reduce the time of heat exposure and also reduce the time for work at height. That you can reduce the risk a lot from that. But I just wondered that what about the small company or like a construction that not have a very high cost?
I think it needs collaboration across, like Dr. Yuka mentioned on that, across like the government parties, private sector working together. Private sector, I understand that throughout the value chain, like I mentioned, that very small company when they set up like 15 or 20 people in their company. So the way to come to work together, we educate them, how to work safely. When they coming and entering, we give them a chance to try out and work together. So when we do what we call contractor pre-qualification process, so we give them a time to learn.
Yes, but actually he mentioned the simple measure is the most effective. I fully agree. Yeah. Simple solution, sustainable and effective. Yeah. And you can roll out to the small enterprises.
Good. Okay. So the next one about the technology and innovation going to be Dr. Asamun. He's a researcher by himself, and he do a lot of work on this. And one thing, because I read his paper about modeling to predict the temperature outdoor, which will be very useful for the worker who work outdoor, because indoor we might use the WBGT to measure it and also assess the risks and control the risk. But what about the outdoor, which the temperature change at all time or something like that? So what we're going to do? Dr. Asamun might present us about that.
thank you very much for my second round with that. Of course, for the technology and innovation, I think is a crucial part to coping with the climate change impacts. And we are working on the research center, so we try to have been working on technology development. Something very simple for we focus on the vulnerable group to use this kind of thing. So let me introduce some of technology that's developed for my research center. So here we recognize that heat will happen frequently, longer, and with the severity. But how the people to measure heat? Actually, we use the data from the meteorological agency. So the coverage is not good enough. Like let's say one station for one province is not enough for them. So again, if you have money, you can buy this instrument, right? The PBGT, but it costs something about 200 or 300,000 baht or something like that. But for the local people or local authority, impossible. Even my research center, we can just bought just a few things like that. So we start to, hey, why don't we just develop some, the simple measurement we call, the simple hot weather warning instrument, and we just plot on something about the prototype one. So this kind of thing we develop. In this instrument that they incorporate, the important element is that, you put heat index there, which calculate from the temperature and humidity data. And the second one, you have something about we call the risk level to the human health. We bought it from the Ministry of Public Health and put together. This instrument, it can, measure and record continuously. So you can download the data. So we compare this instrument with the PBGT, and you can see that we can have a good result. And then we can actually use this instrument to, the different, the vulnerable groups. One of that, we test with the outdoor worker in the Chayapum province, and also with the elder people in the Mahasarakham, and even in the child and student. So this kind of thing is, it works very well at the local level. And we also, we develop some, we call some, communicating or, warning kits, such as brochure and things, work together with this, instrument, something like that. So you may wonder, how much of the cost of this instrument, what we develop? We can reduce the cost about, like let's say 2,000 or 3,000 baht. This is, the local government affordable, and probably sometimes they can, build by themselves, because we have some guideline or something, and we have a training course for them also. And here it did, this is some activity, we work at the local level. We try to build some, we call the, two-way communication and local participation with something on it to make sure that, they can use this instrument and continue in the future. So this is a new prototype one that is a more complex, and they have a multifunction. So in this prototype that you can see in this part that we can install for the solar cell, for the energy source for them. And then we also put some function to connect them from internet. It means like you don't need to go to this instrument every day. You can control remotely. For example, I can control this from Bangkok, even in the other remote area in some province. If something happens, I can check the data, something like that. So this is a new prototype. Right now, it did play in the Research Expo in the Central World. If you are interested in, you can see more detail on there. So here, this is the overall of the function. So it's something like, we built from the prototype one and plot on some function there, and then we can, access from my department website. Even your mobile phone also you can check this. So I think this is a more convenient for the user also. So we also set up this as a part of development in the Mahasarakham. Work with the local government right now. We install this more, let's say 2 months from now on, and it's worked very well. And I don't need to go to the Mahasarakham, every week, something like that. I can control from here. So I think that is a good. So my department is plan to have something like we try to set up this kind of the network all Thailand, and we try to control on we have the connecting from my departments. I think that is the way how the local government can use this kind. We call it the simple instrument to get the information, and then they can prepare themselves to to reduce the risk or impact from the heat. So this is an ongoing research project that we are doing. Something very simple. We try to develop, simple, low-cost technology. This is something like, of course, I'm sure that all of you in this room, you have money to buy air conditioning, to coping with the heat, no problem, including me, right? But imagine for the vulnerable people, to buy one air conditioning for them, it's very difficult. But anyway, we can develop some technology. We use the concept of DIY, do by yourself. You can do by yourself. You not spend a lot of money. For example, you can do like you use the recycling plastic like installation, or you can do some rooftop sprinkler, or even if your house have a fan, you can add more function, put some more moisture, humidity in there, right? And then you can get cooling or something like that. So even you can decorate some tree around your house or something like that. That I think the technology that is the normal people will probably they like to do it. But we also do some kind of this a little bit more complex if you have some more money. For example, if you want to build a new house or something like that, we try to develop this some the modern house or something with they have a good ventilation of the air, or some have direct coupling with some tube, something like that. This kind of the ongoing of the the technology we are working on from our research departments. So finally, I would like to just have some message on this from my department point of view with that. Of course, I think all of you agree that the effective adaptation still have essential in terms of sustainable work safety, and then the technology and innovation, it should be part of that to to help the vulnerable group of that to build in terms of heat resilience. And then I think when we look at the impact of the climate change, we should integrate to the occupational health also. And then I just mentioned that we already have the plan, but your side also have a plan, but we haven't look at and integrate or mainstream yet. But if we do so, probably we can have some synergy on that. And before I finish this, I just update all of you that my department is on the way to develop, we call the Climate Change Act, draft of this, and coming soon. If this Climate Change Act is effective, probably I think maybe the measure and strategy to coping with the climate change impact will be more efficiently, something like that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Asmon. This is very interesting about, especially to me, I hope to some people in this room too, that is about the hot weather warning system. So what is the distance that this equipment can cover?
We already checked because of, the heat index, it calculates from the temperature and humidity. Imagine temperature is maybe they coverage in the large area, unlike the rainfall or precipitation. Precipitation maybe you need to short distance, right? Something like that. But temperature and humidity it lasts. But right now we trade at the local level how far in each station can cover it, so that we can have some calculation that how much when we install this instrument, thing like that.
Yes. And how have you ever evaluated the effectiveness of the system? Like the people in that area, do they use the data from the instrument or not from your network?
For our first state, we work with the Ministry of Public Health. Actually, they have the channel to communication, so we integrate this instrument to that channel. But for the local community or something like that, we need to set up some mechanism, how to let them use this instrument. But one thing is that, we have some, we call the training course for them. And then let them come a few days. And then to, assemble this instrument and all things. Once this workshop finished, it means like the outcome of this training course is one instrument. And then they get back to their community. And then they can set up and use that one. So this is some mechanism that we are trying to set up that, they will plow with themselves because they can assemble this instrument by themselves and then they can use it at their area.
Yeah, I think that the Ministry of Public Health can help a lot because they like a kind of cover all over the country. And also one more. Because it's very interesting and I think it's going to be useful for all the audience. The technology that you talked about actually is quite simple, right? That I saw like the waterfall on the roof or something like that. Your department has published or distribute this knowledge or technology to the people in all over the country, or you just have some way to communicate to the people?
Actually, we have some research and some case study of this, and then we try to, to disseminate this kind of, some technology, very simple one, to the vulnerable groups. For example, for the worker or something like outdoor worker, something like that. So we actually have the plan to do this kind of thing, and then more research it need. We have to have some more, in terms of case study to prove this kind of technology is work, all of that.
Okay, good, thank you. Well, we have very short time, but anyway, Dr. Yuka,
yes,
please.
Thank you. So I'm actually so impressed by the presentations. Actually, already you have a lot of equipment and the solutions, the practices, but to apply, how we can roll out, how we can reach out to the workers, vulnerable workers, using this technology and also the tools. Maybe at least the two approach we need to do. First is it should be combined with the policy and the programs, the top-down, because to use that existing technology and tools, we need the policy to support that application. Another one is the awareness raising of the workers. Let me start from my presentation, my slide, not go through. Yes, I like to start from this one. Now, safe and healthy working environment is the fundamental rights, fundamental principle and right. And so that's why, based on this one, we have to encourage the government and the stakeholders to develop the policy to ensure these rights at work. And also, we need to raise awareness of the workers. You have the rights. Your safety and health should be promoted, protected, promoted. That is your right. Everyone has this right. Yes, because the Thailand people are used to hot weather, heat, and the people accept the heat as the normal status. but it's not normal. Please do not accept the hot
Exactly.
environment. You have rights to tackle. You have to improve the station. That is the day we have to do that. And the day we have the ILO has the convention. I like to skip. And this is some national level action, policy, strategy, law, and the collective agreement between management and the workers, technical guideline, and also the risk assessment is the key. All workplaces. I think most of the audience is the safety officer, but we have to start from the who are most vulnerable, who are the risk, the higher risk. And we have to start action to address those high-risk workers, high-risk workplaces, following the hierarchy of control. You presented the administrative control to adjust the working time, and you have some solution to apply in the workplace. Not going directly to the PPE, but we have to start from this hierarchy of control. And it should be integrated into the management system. It should be committed by the manager as the company policy, like the blueprint. Is you have the very good, clear commitment from the management. And also we have to have the workplace program to address the heat. And then the ILO has some supporting document, the tools, how to diagnose the heat stress, heat stroke at the workplace. And also we have the code of practice. This is a kind of guidelines. And then we have the policy brief. Very recently, we developed the policy brief. And we have the report, a research report, very recently published just the last month. So you can use this kind of tools already existed. And use these tools wisely, and we can work together to ensure the workers' rights to be protected, safety and health.
Yes.
So this is my last one.
Thank you very much. Well, I think we might have time for one question from the audience. Do we? Yes, please.
So I just wondering for the worker who work outside, not in the factory, because in the factory they have the WBGT. Can you suggest for how can we know the action level? For example, when the temperature is high, what the worker choose to do? For example, when they have to stop work at high or something like that, because I'm not sure for the action level. Usually for Ajahn Vantani suggests that for the WBGT is quite expensive. I very worry for the worker who have like no education or something like that. How can we remind them they have to stop or something like that?
Yes.
Please.
Yes, that's why I asked Dr. Asamon how large of the area that your instrument can cover. And actually, I think I read one of your paper about the modeling.
Yeah.
So I think about that because OSHA use the modeling for like people can use a computer, put on some the data, so like the temperature, the radiance, heat, or something like that in the computer, and they can come up with the WBGT. So I thought that your model was going to be something like that.
But actually, in the recent year, it's something Thailand is, recognize that heat is very, dangerous. And in particular, in start from March, April, this periods, they have provide some general, warning information from the meteorological department, even my department, even the public health, they also did some information general, but this is some general, what happened in terms of today in terms of heat index, what the level, what the value, but actually they don't have more specific on, particular group. So I think this is a very important, and thank you for your question. I think this is we need to do more on this, and then we need to set some criteria for the outdoor worker. So let's say if the heat index at the danger level, so how long they're gonna works, and probably we think more about something about we call the public cooling room for them, because this is something the government need to think about in general to prevent them. After we provide them information, and then what next? What the action? And then they need to find something. So, the public's cooling room right now, in the summer season is that, in the department for the lotus or something like that, people, go in there.
Okay.
That's a thing for them also. But anyway, the government should think about it and need to have some this kind of, instrument, something like
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Dr.
I like,
Yuka.
yes,
Go
I'd
ahead.
like to add something. Yes, we can use available measures, or the communication is the key actually. But we need to use the available framework as much as possible, not only through the labor, but we can use the health, because the Ministry of Public Health, they have the health post in each of the village. So we can use that health the post to educate, advocate the very simple solution already they mentioned, and also use the school or the educational institutes or the school. They have the information hub. So we can use that, the network and the communication line.
Yeah, I think if you're thinking about the construction worker, is you need to thinking very simple. We can't do too much comprehensive. We run one of the program we call Fit to Work. Just give them a knowledge, when they're not ready, so they can tell their supervisor, I'm not ready. I'm now going to his stroke. I need to rest. So they need to raise their hand up
Right.
when they're not ready. By the way, company can set up the standard practice to limit the time for them, but it's not exactly that time. Like today they might ready, but tomorrow they're not fit. So how we can measure that? So the important part, Dr. Yuka, you already mentioned, awareness is very important. So upfront we need to educate the worker to understand the right in terms of safety. They need to raise their hand up.
Thank you very much. Well, I think our panelists cannot answer all of your questions, but this panel is very good to create a lot of questions. And I think the question is that of the research. So here, I think there are many academic people. You can start a lot of research out from this panel. So thank you very much to our panelists and also the audience for your engaging the question and participation. Thank you very much.